Hello everyone, it is I, the Flame King, here with a bit of a break from my Mario Kart 9 series, because it's February now. And so of course that means rumor about a February Nintendo Direct has been coming up, and so I got a bit of a non-scripted video here today to just kind of gloss over kind of like some of my thoughts and ideas and feelings and opinions of like what we could expect to see if we do get a February Direct. It's not promised or guaranteed or anything, but as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been an official announcement made yet. Who knows, maybe between me recording this and uploading it, something isn't officially announced about a Direct, but for all I know, there's more than likely going to be one this month. They could just go ahead and not do one. I mean, I remember we used to think that we'd always get an E3 or at least a early summer Direct, and I can't remember, I think it was just this last year that we didn't get it. I don't know. I can't remember, that was a year ago. But, yeah, I have an unscripted video here just to kind of ramble on a little bit about what I think we could possibly see. So, first thing I want to talk about is that Splatoon's second wave of DLC, the Side Order, as well as Mario vs. Donkey Kong, are both coming out this month. And whether or not they are released before the Direct comes out, more than likely they are still going to be in the Direct. Because at very least, the Direct will give some advertising to it, especially for those who might have forgotten they're coming out this month. I definitely remembered that the Side Order was coming out this month, but I completely forgot about Mario vs. Donkey Kong, despite how endearing it was to me in my childhood. But yeah, coming out this month. Very surprised. I forgot. Very big deal though. Very big deal. It looks exciting. I don't think there'd be anything new to reveal about Side Order if the Direct does come out before... if the Direct does come out before the DLC hits. Especially because they did just recently upload an in-depth trailer for Side Order. Who knows, maybe the Direct comes out before Side Order releases, they could just go more in-depth as to what to expect or something like that. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I don't know how much more they'd have to reveal about that if the Direct comes out before its release. Other than maybe announcing a level creation tool, especially since every single Mario vs. Donkey Kong game after the first one had one from what I remember. And so, I can see them retroactively doing that, especially since Mario vs. Donkey Kong, I think, was the first official, not this one, but like, games within the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, I think was the first official Mario level creation tool thing. And so, it'd be cool to see them retroactively with bringing this to HD on the Switch and whatnot to add in a level creation tool. Especially because I can't even remember if the original had one. I know the second one had one. I think that was the big gimmick, the marketing point with that one. But that's the only thing I can see with either of these. But there's a good chance. I can't remember when of the month they release. I know Side Order is later. I think Mario vs. Donkey Kong is actually within the next week or two. And so who knows, they might not actually have much to reveal with that. But then there's the only other thing we know about coming this year, which is Luigi's Mansion 2, Princess Peach Showtime, and The Thousand Year Door. As far as I'm aware, those are the only remaining games we know are coming out this year. I mean, they previously indefinitely announced Metroid Prime 4, but we're not talking about that today. I'm going to be gutsy and say that Metroid Prime 4 is not going to be in the February Direct. But, I don't know too much more of what they could reveal with these. Princess Peach Showtime, with how much they've already shown us, part of me hopes that we wouldn't get too much more. Just because I feel like with all the different outfits and themes they've already shown off for Princess Peach Showtime, I feel like there's a chance we're starting to cross into territory of, if they show anything more, they're showing us everything. I don't want to see that. And so who knows, maybe it'll just be a blip in the presentation. Luigi's Mansion 2, I don't know if the original one had a multiplayer mode, but maybe if it didn't, they could implement the multiplayer that was in Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm just now realizing that there's no S in it's Luigi Mansion, not Luigi's. I might have grabbed the wrong one, or maybe that's actually I don't know. But yeah, they could talk about a multiplayer thing with it or whatnot, or they could just hold off on saying anything about it because it's releasing later in the year. I don't know. But then there's the 1,000-Year Door. I'm hoping we get an official release date. But other than that, like, I don't know. I sadly haven't played the 1,000-Year Door. I've always wanted to, but I tried to get it and it's like $1,000 on eBay or some ridiculous nonsense like that. And so I'm extremely happy it actually came to the Switch. But I don't know what much else they could add. The only thing I could think of is maybe a side mode for Luigi, like what they did when they redid the Mario and Luigi games. They added a side mode for the Bowser minions and for Bowser Jr. Maybe they do something like that with Paper Mario, but for Luigi. Because with what little I know, I don't think Luigi had too much involvement in the 1,000-Year Door. And so who knows? Maybe they could add an extra thing like that in there. Again, I don't know. They could add more to, like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Again, I haven't played 1,000-Year Door. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely on my wish list to try and get, so that'll be great. But that's everything we know that's coming to the Switch this year, so far. At least as far as I'm aware. I tried to do a little bit of research going into this, but there's nothing else I can... nothing else I saw that we officially know yet. And on top of that, I'm not one to... I typically don't delve into leaks or rumors or whatnot, because when Smash 4 was coming out, my most wanted character was Bowser Jr., and then the ESRB leaks came out and completely spoiled my learning of him in the game and the reveal and whatnot. And so ever since then, I've just tried to stray away from leaks, so please don't leave for hearing me say something like that. Especially because I feel like it provides a bit more of a clean reaction. But that's not to say I don't know anything about any rumblings or anything like that. I know Pikmin 4 actually came out last year, and it did really well from what I know. And so I was thinking maybe it could get some DLC in a similar fashion to what Pikmin 3 got. I think it got DLC. I don't know. Pikmin 4 was my first Pikmin game, and I loved what I played. I wish I could go back and do Pikmin 3, but I don't have the time, sadly. But, they could do DLC. I think they wouldn't add a story expansion, I don't think. That's at least what I'm predicting. I think they're just going to do, like, more Dandori challenges. And, like, more challenges, maybe more maps, enhance the multiplayer feature of the Dandori mode, and things like that. Other than that, I don't think they'd add too much to Pikmin 4, just a bunch more challenges to do. And I think I'm going to call it, it's going to be free. I hope I'm right. Especially because, like, if it's a story expansion, we'll definitely be paying for that, but I doubt it. It's just going to be a Dandori expansion, and it's going to be free. That's my calling. But, then next, what I wanted to talk about is something I've actually been waiting the entire life cycle of the Switch to get, and I'm surprised we haven't gotten it yet, but I guess Zelda has been a little busy on the Switch. But I'm predicting that we're also going to get either the Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, or both. Best world, we get both, but I have to pick one over the other. I'd go Wind Waker, just because it offers a bit of a different style than what Zelda we currently have, because the Toon Link aesthetic, I guess. But my prediction is either they shadow drop both of these digitally, and then a physical version will be releasing soon, or Wind Waker will be releasing soon, and we'll have to wait a little later for Twilight Princess, and we'll all wonder why, but maybe just like to space it out a little bit. But yeah, and then I don't know, like Metroid Prime 2 and 3, I've heard a lot of people talk about, like shadow dropping in a similar way to like Pikmin 1 and 2, just because the remastered version of Metroid Prime 1, but I don't think they have both. If they were to be remastering the entirety of the trilogy, I don't think they'd have all that ready. Plus, Xenoblade Chronicles X being Other than Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, which just talked about, Xenoblade Chronicles X would be the only Wii U port we haven't gotten yet that would make sense. I don't see us getting anything like Nintendo Land or Game & Wario or anything of that sense. It'd be nice, but it really would not work. So, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think those are the last 3 Wii U ports to Switch we're going to get. And then Metroid Prime 2 Echoes and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption will be treated in a similar way to Pikmin 1 and 2, just being dropped on the Switch digitally. The only other thing I could think of along these lines is a new Fire Emblem, not brand new Fire Emblem game, but apparently Fire Emblem remakes work on a similar schedule to like Pokemon remakes, and that they have a thing and things like that. Me personally, I don't think I would care unless the remake is for Shadow Dragon, the 2 Ike games, the Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, or Fire Emblem Awakening, because Awakening was such a big thing for Fire Emblem. It was like the resurgence. It's kind of like what Final Fantasy was for... I can't remember if Final Fantasy was Square or Enix before they merged together. I don't pay attention to them. Just like how I don't really pay much attention to Fire Emblem. I don't think... Because Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon has already gotten a remake on the DS, so I think fans would probably be upset if they got that again, but at the same time, a remake for Shadow Dragon happened before Awakening, which added all these new mechanics and whatnot to Fire Emblem that I think Shadow Dragon could really benefit from. But, I don't know, apparently, I don't know the name of the other Fire Emblem game that it's being rumored to specifically be coming. But, I don't know, I've only played like a few seconds of the DS version of Shadow Dragon and a few seconds of Fates. So, not a Fire Emblem guy. I'd kind of like to get into it, but like, the only way I could would be if I could get into Mars story, get into Ike's story, or maybe into Awakening. But I don't think any of those would be what we're getting. If we're getting a Fire Emblem remake announced in this direct, it's probably going to be another Fire Emblem game that I don't know much about, that apparently is important. I don't know, but like, there's not too much else I can think of in this direct, and I hate that everything I've said so far, other than the stuff that we already know about, is like remakes or up-res ports or anything like that. Especially because, I don't know, something feels off about Nintendo not announcing a completely brand new game instead of just doing a bunch of remakes and whatnot. Part of me, like, I don't know, I can't think of like any, like, they're not gonna have a new 3D Mario game, they're not gonna have a new Mario Kart, they're definitely not gonna have a new Splatoon. I was thinking maybe they could have like a new game with the Mii's? That maybe they have like Tomodachi Life 2, or maybe they could have like a sandbox-esque, like a build your own sandbox 3D game with the Mii's maybe, or maybe like Advance Wars could get something. They could take the Reboot Camp engine, and I've always thought it would be cool if they took that and made a Mario Maker-esque thing with it, where like you build your own base and then you like submit it online, and like you do matches where they take your base against someone else's base, and you try to infiltrate each other's base and see who can destroy each other first or whatnot. And I think that would be a pretty cool way to go at it, especially because I don't know enough about Advance Wars or the development time it'd probably take to say just completely a brand new one. But like, I don't know, any brand new titles, I don't think they're gonna have anything too big, mainly because I'm positive that at some point this year they're going to announce that the successor to the Switch is going to be coming out before the end of the year. And so already things have been slowing down with the Switch lineup and whatnot. I think we're just gonna continue on that trend. It doesn't feel right to say that we're only gonna get remakes and ports from here on out. But again, I can't really think of anything that would be like a brand new game that would, without like it being like so big that it might as well just be on the next console. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, leave in the comments below. Don't talk about leaks or anything like that, because that ruins the fun in my opinion. But, I don't know. The only other thing I could think of with talking about is they're not going to talk about Pokemon, because Pokemon does its own thing on its anniversary. Pokemon Presents. I am going to talk about what I think they're going to do too, though, even though that's going to be like near the end of the month. I think their anniversary is February 27th, if I remember correctly, right? And they always do a presentation on that day. I can't remember when they started doing that. But ever since they started doing it, they've never failed to do it, as far as I'm aware. And so I'm going to make a bold prediction and saying that Pokemon Presents, that they're going to announce that Pokemon Red and Blue will be coming to NSO. And that they'll be able to connect with Pokemon Home. And before people talk about how outlandish that is, I can kind of agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, they kind of did a similar thing with the 3DS. Closer to the end of its life cycle was when they finally put Red and Blue on it. I think they put Gold, Silver, and Crystal on it eventually too. But like, it was right at the end of the 3DS life cycle, so it makes sense to me that they would do the exact same thing here with the Switch now that predicted at the end of its life cycle. And for a brand new game, I think they're going to do something with Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I know a lot of people are saying that it's going to be either Black and White remakes, Black 3, White 3, which, no, that's not going to happen because that's a brand new game. Or, I guess Legends, people are talking like Legends Unova, Legends Kyurem. If you ask me, I don't know, there's a lot of things pointing to Unova. They've had a lot of regional variants that are Unova Pokemon. They've had Blueberry Academy straight up somewhere near Unova, at least close enough for it apparently to be considered part of Unova, I think is what they were saying in the DLC. I can't remember. But there's a lot of love for Unova going on right now. But same thing in the other direction with Johto. And on top of that, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are known, at least from everything I know, that lots of people have called these two like the definitive version of Pokemon. And I can see why. It's got 2 regions. It's literally like the ultimate version of the Gen 2 games with a lot of additional content added on top of that. I can see remakes maybe delving into ruining it. But as long as both Kanto and Johto are available, I don't think that a Heart Gold Soul Silver remake would be too terrible. Especially because even better thing, instead of it being a Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl style remake, that they try and keep it to sprite work. Either that or a remix version of sprite work, or maybe they could go with a hand-drawn art style. That is basically just its original game, but it's all hand-drawn, like the Ken Sugimori art style or whatever. To make it, I imagine if they were to do that, that would look beautiful. And they just hone in on this idea that the fan base has built up of these being like the ultimate version of Pokemon. Be like, this is a return to what everyone deems the ultimate version, and of course they'd add Fairy type in there. Ultimate dream come true. I'd love for them to retroactively add Sylveon in there, especially because they definitely would have Fairy type. Because there's no way they're going to discard Fairy type, especially since there's plenty of Pokemon who had since become Fairy type. I don't think they're gonna just revert back to normal type or whatever they were before. But yeah, my prediction, it's either Johto or Unova with the way they're going, and even though they're a little more loud about Unova, I can see it being Johto instead. Mainly because I'm hoping, and this Heart Gold Soul Silver thing that I'm talking about seems like a really ultimate idea in my head that seems really cool. But the only other thing I can see happening with any Nintendo announcements this month is that I can see if the February Direct does happen, maybe, and this might be a bit of a long shot, but their one last thing at the end of the Direct would be a teaser for the Nintendo Switch 2. Not an outright reveal, but like a little teaser, like you see people doing a bunch of stuff together, and then like you get to see the Switch 2 for like a second, and then they announce that they'll announce more about the Switch 2 at a later date, or They probably wouldn't even announce it. They'll just call it like the successor to the Nintendo Switch or whatever. And they're like, we'll be talking more about it at this later day, and it'll probably be like March or April. Well, yeah, that's gonna be my prediction. That strong way to finish out the direct, especially because I can't think of anything too big they could announce at the end of the like as their one last thing. If they don't, if this is not the one last thing at the end of the February direct, then it's just going to be lame. It's just going to be a nothing direct. Not nothing direct, but I don't know, because like I don't know too much else of what they could do. Like my only other thought, maybe like a Splatoon spin-off, but like I don't know. Like this is all I got. Maybe like a Pokemon tournament too. That'd be cool. Anything else I want to talk about? I think that's it. I have a video where I talked about my own ideas for the Nintendo Switch 2. If you guys want to see it, it was a stream I did a while back, and I uploaded that stream on my secondary channel that I don't know if I'll be doing too much with, but I did a stream that was just dedicated to like me doing my own Nintendo Direct revealing the Switch 2. So if you guys want to see that, cool. But otherwise, I can't think of anything else too much, especially because anything else I could say I feel like would be outlandish. My ultimate dream is that they announce a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising. Not a port, because I feel like that, not gameplay-wise it wouldn't work, but like the story and lore it wouldn't work, and I think something happened where they had to get a new voice actor for Viridian. So I don't know. At this point, I'm pretty much just rambling. Thank you all who have stayed here at this point. If you like my rambling or just anything of what I've talked about, hit the subscribe button. I've got Mario Kart 9 videos on the way. Hopefully the subscribe button lit up when I said it. I heard they updated YouTube to be able to do that. That's kind of cool. Subscribe. I hope it's glowing, rainbow. See, go click it if you haven't already. Because I got lots of cool things in store. I'm trying to move away from non-scripted content, but for stuff like this, like keeping it more casual, I think there's a little bit of a discussion. Speaking of discussion, what if you guys have any thoughts or ideas, go into the comments. If someone is going around just like leaking information about this direct, please don't spread it, because we don't even know if that's actual news, and if it is, it risks ruining the element of surprise that Nintendo likes building up. Be respectful, please. But yeah, that's all I have. Hope you guys enjoy if a Nintendo Direct comes. So it's all just sit back, hope and pray, and enjoy the rest of your day. Keep dreaming.